I got to spend a lot of time just fucking working on personal shit. Like right now, my big thing is like just setting up my goals for the year.
Yeah, yeah.
And my buddy Tim Butterly and I, like, that's one thing we're really focused on, is just going balls to the wall, just seeing what the fuck we can get done this year.
Dude. That episode with Wes was fucking, and I actually listened to the one with the candle guy coming down here.
Oh, Aaron Dietrich, he's the man.
Yeah. So I haven't listened to the Page episode yet, but I'll get on that when I.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. And you guys, like, it kind of coincided with me starting this when you guys started yours. So it was that, like, you guys had a couple episodes out and you were just talking about, like, we just want to fucking do something fun, like, and it's like, yes. Yeah, you know, you guys, not to, like, suck your dick too much or anything, but, like, you guys are please. I know you guys are, like, really motivational, and it's one of my favorite podcasts that I've found in the past, like, year or so. Yeah, so
I really appreciate that, dude. We're just having fun, and the whole basis of us starting our podcast, Dad Meet, was just because we wanted to hang out with each other more, because we're both fucking loaded up with fucking kids and wives.
Yeah,
and it's really hard to find time just to be able to chill and to talk.
Right.
So the podcast is the ideal situation for that, and a big thing that we've been focused upon the last few years is just getting shit done and doing cool shit.
Right.
And now that we're able to get in here every week, and there's so many people, you one of them. You're a big part of, like, the Dad Meet community now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so cool hearing from everybody saying, "All right, I'm doing this, and just fuck it, I'm gonna do this now."
Yeah.
And I think, like, we all just feed off of one another, and it's fun to just check back in with somebody else. For instance, I'm trying to lose weight, or I am losing weight, and there's a couple of dudes that I interact with we're in an Instagram group, and just for the sake of accountability, say, "Hey, I checked into the gym today." Yeah. And to me, like, that's vital, because, like, when I fucking drift off by myself, I get useless real fucking quick.
Yeah. I'm the same way. It's weird that I have the determination that I have for this to, like I'll be up until, like, 5 a.m. editing podcasts. Like, I have to work the next day. And it's like, where's that motivation when I need to do something that's, like, good for me, like, health wise, you know, like, this is good for me. As I was saying to Six earlier, like, I'm getting better at just talking with people in general, just from doing this. Yeah. And that's amazing for me, because that's a huge problem that I have. Like, even though, like, I'll be friendly with people at open mics and stuff like that, it's always just like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And then, like, that's it. And then I just, like, stand in the corner and don't talk to anybody.
Dude, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. I would rather help somebody move than go to a party.
Yeah.
This is fine. I'm loving this right now. This is the perfect situation for me. To sit here with you, an interesting person. But if there were 5 people in the living room that I didn't know that well, I would pray to God that a cat would walk by that I could occupy myself with, and just say, "Please, God, let me pet this motherfucker till these people walk away."
Yeah, dude. I used to get made fun of a lot for that, because I was the guy who found the animal at the party, and it was just like, I'd hang out with the dog or the cat or whatever, and people would be like, "Yo, like, there's a party going on." Like, yeah, there is a party right here, baby. Me and Rover. Animals are easier to interact with than people, because there's not, like, they're very easy to read. You know what I mean? Like, you know what they want. They just want love and attention. That's all.
Yeah, and a dog,
people probably want to. But.
And a dog will never ask you what you do.
Yeah,
it's like, my God.
Oh God, that was going to be my next
I hate
question.
that shit. That is the fucking worst, dude. There's nothing I hate more than fucking small talk.
Yeah.
So to be able to just at least just talk about, that's why I'm big on talking about feelings.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's something of substance. I could talk about that shit all fucking day.
Absolutely.
Whereas if I get into work and somebody asks me about the weather, I want to jump out the window.
Yeah. Now, it's funny you mentioned the weather, because I was like thinking about small talk the other day, because I fucking hate it too. It's just the worst form of human interaction. And but there's, like, shit that I would like to talk to people about, like, it was negative 60 degrees and fucking, like, I forget where it was, somewhere in, like, the Himalayas or something like that. It's like, dude, it was negative 60 degrees there. Like, the outdoor markets just freeze all the meat and fish outside. They just leave it outside. It's crazy. Like, extreme weather is cool, but when it's just, like, hot enough for you, like, Jesus no, it's Christ, not. Man. It's not fucking hot enough for me, dick. Like, give me,
dude. To that point, one thing that I've been into lately is these kind of survivalist videos. Not so well. I guess they're survivalist, but
Okay.
just dudes building fucking cabins in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And just sitting there, just cooking their own shit. A lot of times they have a dog with them.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll just bring their own whiskey, and it's like, my God, like imagine that shit.
Yeah. Oh, I was obsessed with Survivor Man for a while. Les Stroud.
Dude, it's awesome. Man.
And he's real cool because he'll like respond to you if you.
I didn't
like,
know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, like I sent him. I posted on like his fan page or whatever on Facebook the one time. It's one of my crowning achievements. I was like, dear Les Stroud, like, please teach me everything you know. Mm-hmm. And his response was, well, that wouldn't take very long. Like, I was like,
that's
dude,
cool,
that's
man.
a fucking great answer. Like, very modest. Like, that's kind of role model that I would want for myself as like a young man, you know, which I was at the time when that happened. But,
that's cool, man. He's the man.
Yeah. Very cool.
There was a period I was really into him and Bear Grylls.
Okay. Bear Grylls always felt like staged to me. I respected the fact that like you could watch Les Stroud like walking to set his camera up and like, okay, I walked 500 yards to get this fucking shot, and then I'm lugging all of this gear around with me. You know, I felt like Bear Grylls was a bit of a poser.
Yeah,
but he does give you like valuable information.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, yeah, he knows what the fuck he's doing. But
yeah,
with Les Stroud, I totally get that. And I think the reason why I gravitated toward him so quickly is because he reminded me of this guy that I had seen years ago on PBS, Dick Pernicki.
Okay. I don't know the name.
Dude, it's incredible. You got to check it out. It was a PBS series. He recorded, it was like in the 60s, 70s, and I think he might have died in the early 80s. But at one point, he just said, fuck it, I'm moving to the woods.
Okay.
And dude, he filmed everything. He built his entire surroundings. The only thing that he did not make himself was the tar paper he used for the roof.
Okay.
Everything he either hunted, he built himself, and like he would film himself. You would see him making shit that he needed.
That sounds sick,
dude. It's the best.
Yeah.
It's great for falling asleep to as well.
Oh yeah, I'm a Bob Ross guy when it comes to falling
he's awesome
asleep
for that. Yeah,
or like Planet Earth, just David Attenborough, just like
oh my god,
lilting me to sleep. Yeah, it's that like the British accent is very.
Oh my god,
it's like one of the best things to listen to in general. Just that high nobility like British accent, you know. Yeah.
That I think the British accent is what got me into Downton Abbey. You ever watch that?
No, I didn't, but I remember you guys talking about it on your cast.
Dude, it fucking rules, and it's something that I typically wouldn't gravitate towards. And I'm pretty sure it was that calming effect that the British accent has.
Yeah.
And I love fucking pageantry.
Okay,
dude, it just draws me right in. And then I'd never finished the series. I'd watched a bunch of the seasons, but I never finished the whole thing. But then they put the movie out this year.
Yeah.
I went to see it, and it was so cool to see a theater full of uppity white people just riled up about something. It's like, man, this rules.
Nice. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Human Interaction Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Hambone Hambleton. Today, I have with me a very special guest, Mr. Mike Rainey.
Hey, guys.
From the Dad Meat Podcast, which he co-hosts with Tim Butterly. You may notice those names, recognize those names from some of the stuff they've done in the past, like the Delco Proper stuff and all that. So, yeah, this is a big get for me, dude. I appreciate you coming.
You.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I ruined it by starting it off by giving the fucking hey guys.
Well, that's how I start every show anyway. Not quite the cringy YouTube, but yeah. Well, that started because when I was talking to my friends about starting this, I have a group chat like you were saying with your gym guys where you check in.
Yeah.
I have a group chat with some of my longtime friends that I know from growing up. We live all around the country, and it was just like we're all creatives. You know, we all want to do something creative with our time. We're sick of just fucking farting around, you know. So we started this group and just start pushing each other to like, what are you working on? You know, my one friend, my like best friend plays music, and hopefully eventually he's going to be doing the music for this podcast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. His brother is always looking at the internet as like the next get rich quick scheme. Like he's trying to figure out right now he's on TikTok. He's trying to get TikTok famous. But yeah, we just keep pushing each other, you know, and it's a great vibe to have.
Super helpful, man.
Yeah. So when I was talking about this, I figured out the name like Human Interaction. My buddy Johnny was just like, you should just do it like HI, like hi. And then it was like, oh, well, that's a great way to just start every episode. It's just, hi, everybody, you know? Because that's how I, like, when I'm on stage doing comedy, that's what I fucking do, too. That's how I intro myself. Hi, everybody, you know? Simple, gets attention and stuff like that. So, I don't know. That's, it's not quite as cringy, I don't think, as, like, a YouTube, hey, guys, today we're gonna, like, review this product. I don't know, you know? Yeah.
Hey guys, you're gonna watch me eat dog food for the next 23 minutes.
Yeah, and I will rate and review it for you. I'll let you know which dog food is the best. Yeah,
I ate a dog bone like 2 months ago, and it really wasn't that bad, man.
Really?
Yeah,
I was tricked one time into eating a dog treat.
How'd it go?
It was not good. Okay. I almost threw up. It was but someone told me it was a new kind of Slim Jim that with cheese wrapped around it. It was like one of those swirly, like chewy toys. Yeah. So I like bit right into it, and I chewed it for a while because we were fucked up. We were like teenagers at a party. Yeah. I'm like chewing on. I'm like, man, this does not taste good. And they had to tell me it was a dog treat, like for me to Jesus. Stop talking about it or just stop eating it. Yeah.
You know what? Have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Not yet, but I love Tarantino. So
dude, there's a scene where Brad Pitt is preparing his dog's dinner.
Yeah.
And it's done so well that it made me hungry for dog food.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think Brad Pitt might have something to do with it, too. It's the association of him being super handsome.
Yeah.
Dude, I need that meat in my mouth.
Give me that dog meat, dude. Fuck yeah. He is a handsome man, that Brad Pitt.
Yeah, he's really holding up, man. He's probably at least mid-50s now, if not late 50s.
Yeah, and he's still
crushing it, man.
Yeah, him and Leo, dude, they're never going to be fucking ugly men.
A friend of mine he was an Uber driver in L.A., and he said one of the common stories amongst Uber drivers in L.A. is that it was a nonstop procession of pickup and drop-off of hot chicks to Leo's place.
Yeah, I imagine so. It's like Pat Burrell in Philly.
I wonder if he's still at it.
Burrell?
Yeah, I think he's still pretty handsome.
He's probably just off of like fame alone. He could probably still crush some pussy.
Here,
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Here. Yeah. So you brought up L.A. I was told, and you've talked about it a little bit too, in podcast and in the Facebook group and everything. That you're a big fan. You love LA.
I love it. You know what? I realized that I love my experiences there so much more when I'm by myself as opposed to when I go there on vacation with my family.
Yeah. Okay.
They're real friggin' downers. If you're thinking of starting a family, don't. Just go to Los Angeles by yourself instead.
Yeah. Because see, I hate it. I lived in LA for like 9 months.
No way.
Yeah, and I hated it.
Yeah.
But again, I'm from like small town in central PA.
Okay.
And I moved there when I was 19, and it fucking chewed me up and spit me out. Like the culture shock alone was just like, what the fuck am I doing out here? You know? Yeah. Man.
Did you have something specific in mind to do when you got out there, or you just wanted to say fuck it and go?
I failed out of college. I was talking with Six about this a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, I fucking I dropped out. I failed out of college, and my best friend was living out there, and it was just like, medical weed is legal. Cool. Like I'm in. All right. I got $2,000 left from graduation. I bought my first car. We'll go. We'll do it.
When did you go out there?
2007.
Okay.
So yeah, over 10 years ago.
Wow, man.
Yeah, it is crazy when I think back on it, because I forget so much about what happened until like I really like think about it and it was the way I always say it. It was a great learning experience. I'm really glad that I did it. I learned a lot about the world and myself, and just, I learned a lot. It was a great learning experience, but I would not recommend that anybody do it. Like, at least make sure you have a job before you move out there, or something that you can do. Like, because I couldn't even get a job in like a kitchen out there because LA's so fucking like snooty, and I didn't take care of myself. Like I was all scraggly, like long hair and blah blah blah, which is not. It's a California look, but still. I looked homeless. I didn't look like cool, like long hair, beard.
Yeah,
I looked like, wow, this dude really doesn't like himself. Like that's,
and that's a tough time too, because that's before Uber and Lyft came about. Because I think once those hit, you at least had a shot if you had a car.
Yeah,
to make a little money.
Yeah, my car was probably one of the reasons I ended up getting fired from the job that I did have is because I had to work like 11 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was testing video games.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool in theory. When it's one of those things that's like, not as cool as it sounds.
Okay.
It's not Grandma's Boy. Like anytime I say that, people are like, "Oh, so you've seen the movie Grandma's Boy?" Yeah. Is it like that? Not at all.
I haven't seen that.
It's a Happy Madison production. It's pretty.
I don't think I have.
It's a funny movie. It's good. But the only similarity is that I was just stoned all the time. Like I was just high 24/7 out there.
Did you enjoy anything that you played, or was it just shit that they were?
I only played a total of 3 games when I was there, and for the last like 4 months, it was the same game, like over and over and over again, 11 hours a day, 7 days a week. And my job was to 100% it, make sure like it won't glitch if you complete everything, and yeah. So, but it was supposed to have like a week's worth of gameplay. It was Stuntman Ignition is the game I'm talking about.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's like a driving game where you play a stunt, like you're a stuntman, and you get certain points for like certain things that you can do. You know, you can like drift, or you can drive close to something, or you can go through a gap, and like you get points, and it's like a point string. So like the goal of the game of each level is to keep your string going. So you know you can drift and then get close to something, and it'll keep stacking up points.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's a fun concept for a game, but when you play it 11 hours a day, 7 days a week for 3 months, like driving home from work, I would see like it's got like a heads up display, you know, like in the game. So that would be like etched into my brain when I'm driving home. It's like 20 points close. I'm just like, I'm losing my goddamn mind.
Dude, I definitely get it, because I remember there was a summer where it might have been the 3rd Grand Theft Auto. It's all I fucking did.
Yeah.
All summer. And I lived close by to a Pizza Hut. And I remember driving parallel with this Pizza Hut, and I saw someone walking, and the thought popped into my head to swerve onto the sidewalk. Thank God I didn't do it, but but it was just like, it occurred to me that that's an option.
Yeah. You gotta separate reality from the video games for sure. It's like the kid who stole his grandma's car a while ago in like Florida, because he was like, oh yeah, I played a lot of Grand Theft Auto. I just wanted to do hood rat shit with my friends. Like,
well, you also live in Florida. It's a very Florida thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. I think anything is a very Florida thing to do if you do it in Florida. I think that's how it works. It's just like anything that happens, if it says like Florida man or in Florida, everyone's just like, oh yeah, okay. It doesn't matter what follows that opening line. It's probably legit. Yeah,
dude, Florida fucking rules, man. Up until about 5 years ago, I'd only been to Orlando for Disney.
Okay.
But I got to chill in Tampa and Clearwater, and I realized that that's where I'm eventually going to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to somehow end up down there, and something awful is going to happen, and I don't want to have it any other way. It's a degenerate's paradise.
Yeah. I have friends who live outside of Sarasota, so it's kind of that area.
That's where Randy Macho Man Savage grew up, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a Sarasota guy.
Nice. I have a friend who's from Florida, a comic friend who's from Florida, and he actually met Macho Man. He worked at a Subway, and fucking Macho Man Randy Savage came in, and he like, no, the sandwich is on the house, sir. Got his autograph and shit. Like, yeah.
Oh, that's neat, man.
Yeah. Apparently, he looks like he's made of leather. Like, he just looks like he's so tanned and wrinkly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or he was at that point.
I just saw... He's dead.
Yeah, he did die. That's right, yeah.
He had a good run, though.
Yeah.
I saw today, Hulk Hogan, he lives down in Tampa. Might be Clearwater. They're pretty close, though, but...
Yeah.
He had back surgery, and he was on Instagram today lifting. He's like, they told me to wait 6 months. He's like, it's 7 weeks and 4 days to the day for my surgery, and I'm getting it in, brother.
Hell yeah, dude. Brother. He still does brother?
He's still sticking with brother.
All right. What was the show that he was on with the boat? Tropic Thunder? No, that's a movie.
He was No Holds Barred. You ever see that movie?
No, I never saw that movie.
Yeah, I think that was like 91.
Okay.
He put out a movie. Who the fuck else was in that? I forget. But I remember going to the movies to see that at this shithole movie theater near us. It was like, dude, it was great. It was $1 to get in.
Oh, nice.
And they played the worst movies, but, I was a kid, so I was like, I am the man.
Something to do. Yeah,
Yeah, it was the best.
Yeah.
But what else? Well, he was in
Thunder
one of the
in
Rockies.
Thunder in Paradise is what I was thinking of.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
That's the one he had like it was like Knight Rider but with a boat.
Oh, Knight Rider was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, he had a super like armor-plated boat with guns on it, and he was like a vigilante. Yeah, it was used to be on at like 2 p.m. like right when I got home from school. Yeah. So I watched Thunder in Paradise and then like Tour of Duty with my dad, which was like I don't know if you remember that show. It was like a Vietnam war show. That was like intense. Shot like a soap opera though, with that weird like dream filter that soap operas have. Yeah. It was fucking old. Wow.
Knight Rider is my shit. I used to have a Knight Rider big wheel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was the best, man. And then I think it just snapped because I was too fat.
Yeah, eventually you
it gave out.
Outgrew it.
Yeah. And then I ended up getting one. I went to a flea market and there was a what the fuck? What did I just call it? A big wheel. There was a big wheel there, and it was like $2. I was like, yes, I'm getting this thing. Like, I'm gonna really relive my Knight Rider days.
Yeah.
But sure enough, like I was even fatter, and the thing it was just like spinning my wheels like it was a foot of snow.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I had a good run.
Yeah. You think they put like better treads on those tires, to be honest? Because like there's some pretty fat kids out there.
I was just gonna say, now with how fat kids have gotten, there's probably great suspension systems on them.
The hydraulics, you're just fucking rolling down the street, fucking bumping it. What do they call it? Hoopties? Is that what those are? I don't know. I know nothing about cars and car lingo. So,
oh, dude, you were in LA, man. You should have seen that shit all the time.
Yeah,
or maybe that wasn't in your area.
I mean, I lived in Culver City. My neighborhood was real weird. Because we were like the apartment building that I lived in was just 4 units. So it was like a really small little place, and then there was like some houses around me, and then some like apartment buildings. It was
okay.
You know how like LA it all feels like suburban sprawl, but like you're in the city. So it was like a block one direction from me was like a really nice like gated like Jewish community, not like super wealthy, but really nice. And then you come down my way, and it starts to get like just normal like apartment buildings and like houses and stuff like that. And then you go like 1 block further, and it's like the projects. And then you go, I was like, I lived on Cadillac Avenue.
Ooh,
yeah,
man,
fuck yeah, dude.
That sounds like something that would be on a pimp's business card.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you like about being in LA?
I liked being so far away from home, being so far away from my parents, feeling like really independent. I liked the weather. I liked that it was always sunny. But I did like I am a winter person. Like I'm a cold weather person, so I did miss that when I was out there. And I like that I was with my best friend and that we could smoke weed all the time and no one like really gave a shit. Like that was literally I hated the Hollywood factor of it, where everybody's trying to be a model, everyone's trying to be an actor. Like we go to parties and the first thing people would ask you is like, what do you do? But you know what they're saying is, who do you know? Like, are you important, or should
I be talking to you?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, for me, it's like, no, you shouldn't. You probably shouldn't be, because I'm fucking nobody, you know. And yeah, I liked that my neighbor let me fuck her too. That was fun.
Oh, that's neat.
That was a nice thing that she did for me.
What was she like?
She was a sweetheart. She hates my guts now because I fucking broke off whatever we had going on Valentine's Day because my girlfriend was moving across the country to live with me.
Understandable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I deserve it. And then my girlfriend broke up with me in like 3 weeks because I was like a fucking mess. Like, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I was again 19 years old, like learning how to live in a city away from everybody and being able to do whatever I want. So yeah, a lot of drugs involved too. So.
I get it, man.
Yeah, and not even anything crazy, just a lot of mushrooms and weed, but it was like at that age that really like changed my perspective on life and how I treated people. And
I mean, that's some PTSD shit with all those elements combined you're basically still forming at that point.
Yeah.
You know, you're technically still a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that shit coming together, like you have to wild out.
Yeah, it was, and I did. I did it for sure. But yeah, she's a nice girl, Jess. She was a real nice girl. She didn't deserve to be treated the way I treated her, for sure.
Oh, that's sweet of you.
Yeah, you know, I own my mistakes, man. That's how you grow.
Yeah,
that's how you grow.
Yeah.
So, you know, speaking of growing and bettering ourselves, like that's a huge part of your podcast, Dad Meat Podcast, is when people have asked me, because I plug it to people. I'm like, dude, you guys gotta, yeah, absolutely. When I like something, I will tell people to fucking watch it. Yeah,
thank you.
Or listen to it, whatever. And people are like, well, what is it? And it's like the only way I can really think to accurately describe it is like positive masculinity. Just like,
oh, cool, thank you.
Yeah, accepting like all the shit that like people hate about men, but realizing that it's like, no, you can be these things. You can have these characteristics and still not be a piece of shit about it, and like still be, you know, and some of what I like that you guys address is like the emotional aspect of it, and like you're not a pussy just because you fucking get sad about something.
Yeah,
you know, things make people sad. We're human beings.
Dude, I was crying like a fucking baby earlier today.
Yeah,
and like that's something that Tim and I, one of the reasons why I appreciate Tim so much is because even though we talk about it now on the podcast all the time, I can just have face-to-face conversations with him,
right,
and say that, look, I'm just fucking sad right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that really doesn't get hammered home enough to young men, which is a lot of the reason why so many times we end up becoming fucking monsters.
Absolutely.
Because of that wall that's there, whether it's imposed or implied imposition, that you can't do this and you can't do that.
Right.
And for us, it's healthy to do that for each other. And now that we know that, you know, people are listening, it's cool to hear other people opening up and saying, hey, I'm doing this now, or I told this person this, where it just feels very healthy, and it's cool to be a part of something like that.
Yeah. Well, and it's great that like you guys always say, you know, people reach out, they send you messages, stuff like that. Yeah. I had like a reverse thing happen with me. One of my friends who was on, who, you know, knows a lot of the people who actually listen to this, all 12 of them, people were like sending him messages after we did like a New Year's Eve special that I just like shat out real quick. And he's like, yeah, people were like sending me messages like, man, that was really fun. Like, that was cool.
That's great, dude.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, could you tell him to send that message to me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I ask people for feedback all the time. Like, is this cool? What do you guys like? Like, I'm trying to, this is for me, but it's for you too. You know, like I'm trying to make something that people want to listen to. And it's like, I feel like it's cool that people feel like they can approach you guys and just be like, hey, love this, because even asking you to come on, like, it was just like I would love to ask Tim, but I'm so fucking weird about like asking people to come on my podcast.
Yeah, we'll fucking do it.
Yeah. I know he would. Like, he's a cool dude. I don't know him that well, obviously, but like, seems like a real cool dude that would be willing to sit down and have a conversation with someone. It just happened to the opportunity presented itself when you were just like, hey, if I can help you with a goal, let me know. Yeah. It's like, well, I need to record episodes of my podcast. I want to talk to these dudes.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, and I really respected how you were somebody who I see commenting in the in our Facebook group, because that's where I spend the most time. Even though I check out the Reddit group a lot. And,
oh, that's right. You guys do it. I'm on the Reddit too. I subscribe to that, but I forget about Reddit sometimes.
It's easier for me to just be in the Facebook. I just don't like playing with my phone. Whereas a lot of times when I'm on Facebook, I'm on either a laptop or a desktop, so it's easier for me to communicate that way.
Okay,
but. Yeah, man, and I genuinely mean that. A lot of times I'll just put it out there just saying if I can help anybody with anything, because I really feel like that, it just feels good to be able, if somebody has a need and you can meet that need, it's like, absolutely. Oh, cool. And then a lot of times, you know, they'll want to help you if you need help with something. So it works both ways and it makes you feel good.
Right.
And at the end of the day, like, that's what it's all about, because we get so consumed with like, oh, if I do this, if I get this, or if this happens, I'll be happy. Whereas the only real happiness comes in basic human interactions, and just the simplest forms of expression of gratitude, expression of helpfulness.
Absolutely, man.
And just expressions of love. And it's that simple as saying, like, if somebody's saying, I would like this, and if I could provide that, yeah, let's fucking do it. That way we're both happy.
Yeah. Mutual affinities.
That's great. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. That's like a scientific term. That's like an evolutionary science term.
I like
that's why like when you see fucking it's like coexisting or shit. I'm getting delirious now. I can't think of my science words, my big words. When like you see animals who fucking like thrive together, like the cleaner fish that lives next to the shark that like lives on the shark and cleans him, like they both get a benefit out of that. So it's, you know, mutual affinities.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I think that's what it means anyway. Don't Google that. Don't fact check that. Yeah,
but that getting back to that feedback.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That's something that is a big part of why Tim and I enjoy doing the podcast so much, because it really does. It doesn't make us feel good to just come in. We record in this studio.
Yeah.
To just come in here and jerk ourselves off for an hour and a half every week, then go home and be like, oh, man, it's going to be awesome when people listen to this.
Right.
No, when it becomes awesome is when people listen and then they comment on it and say, like, hey, when you talked about this, you know, this struck a chord, or I'm also struggling with this. And and that's where the importance of us being so open and honest comes into play. Because, I mean, I'm a little older. I think I'm 7 years older than Tim. I'm 41.
Okay.
But I mean, we've both been through varying degrees of degenerateness.
Yeah. And I think that's a common thread with not only like your listeners, but a lot of guys, a lot of men in general, a lot of people in general, I think have those moments where they look back and they're like, wow, what a piece of shit I was, or, you know, what was I even thinking at that point, blah, blah, blah. And I just think it's great that you guys have created like a little community for people to be able to be like, hey, I'm being a real piece of shit right now. Like I need someone to help me like figure out what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I think that's great. And I think your, the friendship, the rapport that you guys have with each other is just naturally lends itself to entertaining, you know, podcasts. Yeah. Cause you guys riff with each other so fucking well. It's like, you know, I was going to tell you, don't be afraid to play too much on this podcast. Like, I fucking love puns. I love it, man. I was actually thinking, I don't want to put this out there too much, but, you know, I gave you the hookup with the sex torso. I got to give myself props there. And I was thinking like, I'm the sex torso hookup, or the butt plug, if you will. Like, yeah, that was my Mike Rainey joke. That was me playing a little bit.
That's the perfect amount of playing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I know. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I could talk about like feelings and fucking connection all day long, man.
Yeah.
And for like 99%, I feel like 99% of the people that give us feedback are just white dudes in their 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's because a lot of times they've just, you know, we might have been conditioned to think that if we don't fucking nail it in our mid-20s, then we're just piles of shit and we're totally worthless.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and this might be a better topic to talk with him about, but when Tim was talking about, you know, fell into that failure depression for like 2 years, I've been in like a failure depression for like 12 years now, like trying to figure out, because LA didn't work. Like that big move that I'm very proud of myself for making, and you know, being brave enough to just say, fuck it, I'm throwing everything I own into a car and driving across the country, and I'll figure it out when I get there.
Yeah.
You know, me now, I'd be like, you're an idiot. Why would you even think about doing that? But then it was like, I feel like it's something that not a lot of people would have had the balls to do.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And it's super admirable. I gravitate toward anybody who's willing to just say, fuck it. Whether it works out or doesn't.
Yeah.
I admire that when I hear somebody saying, I fucking went for it.
Right.
And to me, it's not a failure. Because this whole thing, you know, however long our lives are, it's really just a collection of different experiences. Like, I feel like everybody really is like Forrest Gump.
Okay, yeah.
You're just fucking getting thrown in the random situations. Now, people who fucking dare to try shit end up being like that.
Right.
There's the people who, at the one time, I admired this archetype, but it was like, all right, the guy who fucking goes to college right out of high school, gets a decent job, is making like $80,000 a year, has a wife, kids, can pay all his bills, gets to go to fucking Eagles games and Phillies games and box seats, and it's like there was a certain point in time where I was like, man, that dude's a fucking man, and I'm a loser for not being that. Whereas now, it's like, my God, like I would I'm grateful for all the shitty experiences I've had where I've done wild shit, both good and bad.
Yeah.
Just because it's led me to this point today, and
right.
I like where I'm at. I like who I am.
That's good,
and I like being able to recognize that and not having the blinders on, because there's so many people where they live and die in the same neighborhood their entire lives.
Yeah, that's wild to me. I mean, even though like
my God,
I don't live that far from my like hometown that I grew up in, but it's still like, you know, I moved away. I'm not like just 2 blocks away from mom and dad where like I'd see them every weekend and blah blah blah. And yeah, that I felt the same. Like I envied like my brother. He's that archetype where he went to college right out of high school, went to grad school. You know, he's got 2 fucking degrees. He's got a great job. He's the better son. You know, like he is the better son. In that sense, you know, in the scope of that archetype, and I was always very jealous of that because that was never me. Like even going through high school, it was like I'm never gonna be that person. And unfortunately, I didn't go to a school that really like fostered that.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
I was at a school that was like, no, you go to college, you get a job, like we're gonna make you model citizens and blah blah blah. And it was like, dude, I'm a creative, you know, like I want to fucking make sketches with my friends all day and put them on the morning announcements so people can.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's what I did until I got kicked out of those classes because I didn't want to do the like reporting, like news reporting work that we also had to do. My friend and I just wanted to make latently homosexual videos to show at our super conservative school of like me and him like swinging in a circle, dancing together and shit. Yeah, or like drug references, a lot of those.
Were you able to slip them in without being noticed?
Yeah, so our intro the one time was it's kind of a ripoff of a Family Guy bit, but we were 16 years old. It was just me and him walking through the halls like early before anybody's in school. We're just talking, whatever, and we come around a corner and the Kool-Aid Man is just standing there, and we animated the Kool-Aid Man in, and then we just look at each other, look back at him, look at each other, look back at him, and he just goes, "Oh yeah," and like I just like drop my water bottle or something, and we just run away, and then it's like morning announcements, like just random shit like that, you know. We made a blood drive sketch for the fucking blood drive where I took a gallon of blood out of him, like we just had a gallon container, we just kept filling it up like shot by shot to Primus's Welcome to This World, like just the trippiest fucking shit that we could make, and we would get in so much trouble because they're like, you can't do that. Like, you know, people just fucking close-minded, they didn't want to foster any creativity that didn't have to do with music, you know, like band or orchestra or stuff like that, or sports. Like those were all, it was one of those white fucking middle-class schools that they didn't care if certain kids got left behind. It's like, there are the important kids, and then there are kids like me and my friends, you know.
Yeah, I get it, man.
Yeah, which again, going into your early 20s after you fucking move to LA and you fail and you come back, it's like, well, they were fucking right, you know. They were fucking right about me. God damn it.
Do you honestly feel like that way now, as though viewing it as a failure?
Yes and no. Yeah. So the way I always. And that's my answer to a lot of things, by the way, is yes and no. It's like, well, in one way, yes, in another way, no.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I don't think anybody else that I know besides my friends, like my core group of friends, really would have, because we all moved away and did crazy shit like that at one point. But I don't think anyone else that we grew up with would have had the balls to do that. So just on that alone, I at least tried, you know, I at least succeeded at trying. Now, where I consider it a failure is, what if I had just stuck with it and stayed out there? Because I got a movie role. Like I was doing like background acting, and I got offered like a featured role in like a feature film, and turned out to have some pretty big actors in it that went on to be successful. Deal, man. Yeah, and it was just like I said, I was just doing background acting. I wasn't even trying to like be an actor. I just needed the check at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And yeah, they called me and offered me a role in a movie with John Malkovich and Gillian Jacobs. Actually, it was one of like her first feature films, and I turned it down because I had the video game testing job,
Oh,
and I was raised in that, like, no, you take the sure thing, you take the sure thing, the paycheck, you know, because they didn't ask me to read or audition or anything. They said, we want to offer you this role, and I had not done anything. All they had were headshots, so it's like, man, I must have really fit the description of that character. So I still think back on that occasionally, where it's like, what if I had taken that role? What and that's what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to do film and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, that's where I can kind of consider it a failure, because I didn't have the balls to do that. You know, and that's what I really deep down wanted to do, and still want to do. You know, I've been working on writing stuff for years and years and years, and I have like shorts and things like that I would love to produce, but I don't. Well, I do have a camera now. I did get a camera, so I could put something together. But yeah.
Dude, you have everything you need, dude. And for real, man, like I admire you, like just from hearing you speak of this. And I guarantee you, if we talk for fucking 3 or 4 hours, you would just spit out 20 things matter of factly that are just like, how many fucking people could say that?
I appreciate that.
You know?
I really do, man.
And dude, I'm telling, like, this is something that Tim and I talked about recently. But the difference between singular failures and failure as a definition.
Okay.
And I think, you know, if it's only failure by definition if it stops you completely in your tracks and you just say, I give up.
Yeah. If you let it do that to you.
Really, man, because to me, everything that you've told me thus far just sounds like a really cool chapter in a fucking book.
Thanks,
now,
man.
if you keep with this is another fucking cool chapter. I admire the fact that you drove all the way down here, and you've been, like you said, it's like a doctor's office. You've had podcast guests coming in and out of here.
That's true. And
not a lot of people would fucking do that, because most people that have a podcast, it's just like, yeah, well, we're waiting for this to come in. We're waiting for this person to respond. It's like, no, like, you clearly feel an obligation to put something cool out there. So you're having, no, not to float my own boat or anybody else's here. Yeah. You're having cool people come in here. Interesting people.
That's the whole fucking point, man.
And you're fucking doing it. Like, you're the farthest thing removed from a failure.
Thank you.
So
thank you, man.
Stop fucking doing that, asshole.
I that means a lot to me, man. It really does, because I don't it's something I struggled with in, like, doing stand up and stuff like that. Comics are typically dicks to each other. Like, even if you're just having fun, like,
yeah, absolutely.
we're dicks to have fun. Yeah. And not many people, like, compliment me like that. So that means a lot to me. And throughout my whole life, I was never really when I was younger, because people saw I was a smart kid, like, for how young, like, when I was really, really young.
Yeah.
I used to get people would compliment me all the time, like, wow, you're such a bright kid, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, as I started realizing that I don't really care about that type of accolade, you know, I don't care if I get straight A's in school. Like, I don't need someone to tell me that I'm smart with a letter, you know?
Yeah.
Then all that stuff kind of stopped. I stopped getting the compliments, and it started being more of like, you're fucking up, you're failing, like, you know, and that thing. And then that ingrains itself in your mindset.
It does, man. And it fucking seeps in there deep. And
absolutely.
Dude, and that's where the importance of just getting around motherfuckers that are going to not only build you up, but are at least respectful of everything that goes into creating anything. Like, anybody that's ever had a fucking book guest for a fucking podcast, and just like you're at the mercy of them showing up. You're at the mercy of your equipment working.
Right.
You're at the mercy of the fucking power being, like, there's so many little things that go into fucking making anything work. And then when you can get around people that are respectful of your time, of what you do, of all that you've been through to even get to this point, then that's where you start to feel an appreciation. And I feel like that's where the you can start to kind of rise up out of the ashes of what you've been ground to by all these know-nothing fucking dickheads that have been burying you all these years.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Whether consciously or unconsciously doing that to you. Where I feel like a lot of people are just, you know, they're told one thing and they believe it and they just run with it their entire life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas you can fucking do anything. Go fucking do something that excites you.
Right.
And when you get around people that are doing shit that excites them, it's fuel to the fire. Fuel to one another's fire.
Absolutely. Oh, what I love, one of my favorite experiences about starting this is I'll ask people, you know, Central PA comics who have, like, pretty much just started, and they're not they're not the most confident people. A lot of comics, you know, have fucking hangups. A lot of comedians in general have, a lot of people have them. But I'll be like, hey, do you want to come over, hang out, record an episode of the podcast? Like, well, I don't know. I don't think I have anything interesting to say. I'm like, dude,
Just fucking talk, dude.
Yeah, you're a human being. Trust me. This is something I've become very confident in myself since starting this. Is like, I can get us to an hour. Don't you worry about that. You think about something that you like to talk about, and we'll get there. When I want to know something, I'll ask the right questions to get people talking. Like, that's something I've gotten very confident with. And even just like without microphones, sitting down and having a conversation with someone has greatly improved since I started doing this. Man. Yeah. And that was the goal, you know? So now my problem is the motivation to like keep going to the next level. Like I'm one of those people who it's like, all right, I got to like this goal that I set. That's all I need to do. And then it like, you tend to slide back down once you start doing that, you know?
Because it gets scary.
Yeah.
Because then you start getting into the realization that life is a nonstop growth belt. Like you're on like a conveyor belt. It's just like, or no, not that's a bad analogy, but it's like you could either grow or you could sit and admire your past successes.
You're
or stew in your past failures.
Thinking of like a treadmill.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the way you think, Andrew.
Yeah. You can keep trying to go forward. If you stop, you're gonna just fucking slip back.
Yeah, you're gonna fucking fall off.
You're gonna scratch your face on the fucking tarp or what a tarp, the rubber mat thing. I've had that experience before. It's not fun. Yeah, not a good time. I don't recommend trying to run a mile at the highest speed when you've had about 12 beers on the steepest incline too. Just because your friend said you couldn't do it, don't do that. You'll end up with a lot of fucking brush burns.
Well, you do a lot of shit that people say you shouldn't probably do.
Yeah, so absolutely. That's to my benefit and to my detriment sometimes, you know. There's no one told me I should move to LA. There are a lot of people who said don't do it, you know. But nobody
told you should fuck your neighbor, and you did it.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for that.
A lot of people told me you shouldn't do that. It was like a whole episode of Seinfeld. Was don't fucking hook it. She's always there, and she was always there, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing until she wanted to fucking murder me, and then you know, not literally murder me.
Oh man, that'd have been so cool to get killed out there,
right?
You'd have been immortalized.
Yeah.
Like, what's Andrew doing? Oh, he just got murdered in L.A.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, that's so cool.
They give me an honorary star on the fucking Walk of Fame. Like, this dude, he didn't really do much besides get murdered, but, you know.
It's a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah. I was saying I finally had the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
How was it?
Very disappointing.
Yeah.
Very, very disappointing. No one murdered me. I was really looking forward to that part, to just getting stabbed, but
were the employees at least angry?
Yeah. No, actually it was they were short with me, but not like angry. Yeah. Very rude employees, man. Actually. Yeah. It's like, dude, what? I'm fucking, just give me a sandwich, dude. I said please and thank you. I'm always very polite to fast food and just any general food employee because
they eat a lot of shit, man.
Yeah, well, that I've known, you know, I dated a girl for a long time who was a waitress and bartender, so she trained me well. And also, I don't want people to fuck with my food.
Yeah.
I like, the nicer I am, the more likely, and that person might have a better day because of it, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe the person before them was a fucking cunt and was just screaming.
That's the truth, man.
Yeah. And I'd say, hey, could I please have this? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, all right, that guy's all right.
Now, at the risk of playing too much, when you would have sex with your waitress girlfriend, would you ever give her just the tip?
Right. She taught me well to tip big. So always at least 20%.
You have to, otherwise you're a real pile of garbage.
Yeah. I've heard they have trouble with the tips sometimes. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I've never had a penis inside me, thank God. Here's hoping, though. You know, fingers crossed.
Oh, 2020 is a new year.
That's right, dude. We're in the roaring 20s now. Can't wait for that to fucking repeat, for history to repeat itself there. Like, I read a thing the other day that was like every 20s decade for like the last 500 years has had a plague outbreak.
Oh,
yeah. So it's like, all right, well, what do we got? Yeah. Bring it on, baby. And then, you know, you get to 2029, stock market crashes. We go into a depression. World War III starts. We pull ourselves out. We fucking Barron Trump's son eventually gets elected as president, and we're, time is cyclical.
Yeah. The depression wouldn't affect me. I've been living with depression for fucking 40 years now, so welcome to the club.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder where the Dust Bowl would pop up at this point. Like, or if it would be a different thing. All the flooding that's happening like in that area where the Dust Bowl was. Now it's the opposite. There's too much water. Yeah. They just fucking people can't win, dude. They're like,
yeah, figure it out.
Yeah. God damn it. Where's the happy medium? First we're fucking dehydrated. Now we're drowning. This is not good. God hates the fucking middle of the country, apparently. I didn't like you said you don't like the question like what do you do, but that was going to be a question that I had for you, and it doesn't have to be like small talky stuff, because you've talked about how you worked in like caregiving positions for like the elderly, and that you've also worked with some like teenage more recently, I guess, with teenage men.
Right now, I work with young adults.
Okay,
that are on the autism spectrum somewhere. Some higher functioning, some lower functioning.
Okay, and
it's very rewarding work. I've been doing it for like 20 years, though, so I feel like at this point I'm kind of burned out.
Yeah, it'll happen. It's definitely you gotta put a lot into it. I'm sure.
Yeah, and it was, and it's been difficult, but like I said, it's also been very rewarding too. So I've had a ton of great experience, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
Awesome. Is that like a social work basically, or I mean,
I work at a school now? Like I've worked in situations like I've worked in residential facilities, I worked in school facilities, I worked in like people's homes.
Okay.
So what I'm doing right now is probably the most rewarding because I worked in some pretty sad situations. And
yeah, especially in the city in Philly.
No, actually, okay. in a suburb of Philly, Delaware County.
Okay.
And it's nicer. The place I worked was nicer than other places, but it was still fucked up. Mostly because it was with older adults, and in those cases, when older adults, specifically older adults that are suffering from mental illness, they're kind of just left.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them did have family that would come visit, and like that would be cool, but in most cases, those instances would be few and far between.
Yeah, and that's super depressing. I mean, think about how sad it is when you just see people put in like a nursing home.
Yeah, it's fucking worse.
And that like magnifies it by like 10 because it's like, why did you just dump this person here? Yeah,
and a lot of times like they can't comprehend why they're there, which is even more fucked up.
Yeah, and you can't really explain it to them.
Yeah, whereas in a lot of cases, when people end up there when they're still of sound mind, it's as fucked up, but they understand like, okay, like.
Yeah, and they could.
My physical health might be declining, and they might not be able to take care of me. Whereas with somebody with mental illness, it's just like, all right, well now I'm fucking here. Why?
Right. Yeah. Damn, that sucks. But
yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah, you bring the sunshine. You fucking.
Yeah. Well, last night one of the things that Tim and I were talking about, we were going over all our goals for 2020, and that's a long.
You got your dossiers.
We're formulating the dossiers, man.
Nice.
And one of the things that I had come up with, and I don't know that it's necessarily a 2020 goal, but it's definitely a long-term thing. But I want to create just cool outings, if not eventually like cool places for people to go and live, where they're not only cared for the way that they should be cared for, but they're subjected to meaningful experiences.
Yeah,
like surprised with shit. Like that's a big thing that gets fucking left in the dust.
Yeah,
even with typically functioning people, it's just like, yeah, like wouldn't it be fucking cool to have a midget show up?
Yeah.
Like, my God, would it fucking kill you to hire one for the night to make this motherfucker's day?
Can he juggle? Get a juggling midget.
Yeah, for real, man.
Dude, yeah.
But just fucking cool shit for fucking everybody.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, we preach this shit all the time about, doing shit that makes you happy. And that's fine, and that's what you should do if you're able-bodied. But especially for people who don't have the resources to take care of themselves, it would just be cool to be able to provide that for them.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, man. You guys, outside of the podcast, are you working on any like creative type stuff?
Yeah, I just started outlining for a new book. I had written 2 books before.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me.
And you know what, Andrew? When you mentioned that somebody had given your friend feedback on how they enjoyed your podcast,
yeah,
it reminded me of something. When I wrote my first book, I mailed it out to a bunch of random people in comedy that I admired. Most didn't respond. Jay Moore sent it back to me. But the one that really was super, super fucking nice, and I really still appreciate to this day, was Do you know Robert Ben Garant from The State and from Reno 911? Junior?
Yes.
He played Junior?
Yeah, no, I grew up watching The State. It was a little ahead.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
It's a little ahead. I have the whole series on DVD. That's one of my
fucking awesome, man.
biggest influences as far as comedy goes is The State.
Dude, it was the best. Reno 911 ruled, but I mailed it to a few of the people from The State and Reno 911, and Robert Ben Garant emailed me to say that it was really funny.
Nice.
And it was just like, oh my God, this feels so good. Because not only was it somebody whose work I admired, but very few people, including friends and family, had given me feedback.
Yeah. It's weird, like...
It's so strange that people are like that. Now,
it's like they don't... Are they just worried that they'll seem like a nerd, like saying something, or do they really just not care, or what, you know? And you don't want to be like, hey guys, like...
I would never fucking do that.
Yeah.
And
please, like, give me compliments.
Honestly, dude, I think in a lot of cases, too, when somebody goes out on a limb to create something, because anytime you create something, you're subjecting yourself to criticism.
Yeah.
You're extremely vulnerable, no matter what it is. Even, a book, a movie, a show, a podcast, whatever it is, people get to see you and hear you.
Right.
And when that happens, it's like you're just praying that, like, please just give me anything. If
you
fucking hate it, tell me you fucking hate it.
Yeah, exactly. I always, like, that was one of the first, when I released one of the first episodes of this, it was just kind of like, hey, just what do you guys think of this? Like, let me know, like, is it cool? Is it dumb? Like, is the podcast okay? You just fucking don't like me? Like, what? Yeah. Be honest with me. Tell me that shit. Cause over the years of doing, stand up and shit like that, you develop some thick skin. I mean, my feelings still get hurt pretty easily depending on the person who insults me or like tells me some shit. But, I can take feedback. I can take criticism. I'm actually a lot better at it than I used to be. Which is, I think that's
a big deal.
Yeah, I think that's a maturity issue too. When you're younger and people are like, they give you like a legitimate like criticism, constructive criticism. You're like, fuck you. Mm. This is my art. This is what. Don't tell me how to make my art. And now it's like, oh, okay. So you would like it if I did this? That seems to be a recurring theme with people. I'm going to try it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal. Somebody reached out to us, to Butterly and I, to say, hey, the volume is really low on the podcast. And then a few other people were like, yeah, it is kind of low. So it's like, all right, cool. Thank you. Like,
right.
Without that, because to us, it's like, we're listening to it and we're new to this shit. And it's, I don't typically listen to podcasts.
Okay.
So when we did it, it was just, I had mine turned all the way up and it was like, okay, I guess this is fine.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, all right, well, what else could we fix? And I realized I say the word like a million times. I'm like, all right, I got to fucking stop saying that. I say a million times.
Yeah, I do all that too.
And it's something that I'm more conscious of now, so I'm working on improving it.
Nice.
And it all started from somebody going out on a limb to say, yeah, you could change this. This needs to be better.
You started just analyzing
some kind of feedback. It's like, all right, what else can we analyze here?
Yeah, exactly. It started the train in motion. Mm-hmm. I say it a lot too, but I don't really care. You did stand up too, right? Like before, and you've worked on some sketch stuff with the guys in the crew, mm-hmm. the Philly crew. What kind of took you away from doing stand up?
I never really enjoyed it, man. And honestly, I feel like I never really got good at it.
Okay.
It's weird because sometimes you could do something for a very long time and just still not get good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt with stand-up.
Stand-up, that's how I kind of feel about it, too. I feel like I got to, I plateaued a little bit, where it's, I've been doing it for about 5 years now, and I'm at the point where I don't know how to write a joke anymore. Just like, nothing is funny.
Yeah.
Nothing I write is funny, and it just gets frustrating, and I don't go out and practice that much. Like, I don't go to open mics that much anymore or anything like that, and it's just, it's one of those things that I love to do, but I don't feel like I don't feel like I ever got to the point, and I might not get to the point where it's like, logical to put that much time and energy into it.
Agreed. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of like beating your head against a brick wall. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. And it's still fun to do. And that's not saying I can't just go to an open mic whenever I feel like it, mm-hmm. and just like, get on stage, try some shit out and have fun. But stop like pressuring myself to make it,
Right. That's a huge thing, man.
Because so many people don't. And that's fine. You don't have to. That's basically where I'm at. Is you don't have to make it, dude. You're making it you don't have to make it. You know
yes,
what I mean?
that's a great way to put it. And like your articulation, like with your hands, I got exactly what you were trying to say there.
Good.
So I wish this was filmed right now, so people could see that. But that's the truth, man.
I have been wanting to do some video content too, so that might be.
Do it.
Yeah.
You know, and with stand up, man, I'm grateful for it that I did it for so long, even though I fucking sucked dick at it, because again, it brought me to here. It brought me to all these incredible people that I get to work with. And the experience is really fucking tough on me because there were so many times where I just ate shit hard. Not only ate shit hard, but drove out to the middle of fucking nowhere to lose money and eat shit at a fucking firehouse in fucking northern Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice.
Like, my God. Like, those, I feel like those were 90% of the gigs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, not every gig is fucking helium.
Right. And what frustrated me about it is that I got to a point where I was getting booked. I was on just bar shows and stuff like that, but people were starting to notice that like I was driving down to Philly from Lancaster every night and I was hitting 3 mics a night and I was waiting patiently until 1:30 in the morning to get my last spot. And then I drive home, get up, go to work, come back, do it all again the next night. Yeah, I ground hard, man, but it takes a toll on you. And when you stop getting those shows, even those little bar shows, it makes it not worth it. Because even those, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm getting some free drinks. I'm still spending $30 in gas for the round trip and tolls and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it all adds up. And at some point you have to be like, you have to realize the benefit of having fun and doing something you love doesn't necessarily outweigh the toll it takes on your body and your budget and all that stuff. And I felt like a failure for a while because I kind of backed off from comedy a little bit.
I get it, man.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's the thing that I love the most in the world is that maybe not the most in the world, but it's something that I really, really enjoy doing. For a while, it was the only thing that gave me any joy in life. And then I had to make a decision. Well, the state made the decision for me at one point. They sent me to jail and put me on house arrest, but don't drive drunk. That's a recurring theme on this podcast. Don't drive drunk, kids.
It sounds exciting, though.
Yeah. I tried to write a bit about that for a while because it is kind of a silly story. But it's one of those things that's not funny to me. It's like a dumb thing that I did and had to like pay the consequences. Like everybody else loves it, but I don't like telling it because I have to think back to like, oh yeah, you know that thing that's still fucking you right now that like you're still paying fines off and 2 years later you're still not like in the clear completely. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Like I said, man, I've been doing a marathon today and I'm really glad that you were able to stop in at least. And I mean, we're over an hour now. So
it's flown by.
Yeah. And again, I'm confident in my skills to get us to an hour. That's all I want to do. If it goes longer, I've had some episodes that have hit like 2.5. I haven't gone full rogies with 3.5 hour long fucking episodes yet, but I'm sure we'll get there at some point.
Dude, tantric podcasting.
Tantric podcasting. Don't come yet.
Are you a tantric love maker?
I am not much of any kind of love maker. I go through like dry spells. I'm in year 3 of a dry spell right now. I go like 4 years without getting laid, and then I'll get drunk enough and find a girl who wants to make a bad decision, and we'll fuck one night, and then I'll go another 4 years, and someone else will want to make a bad decision. That's just how I work. I don't need to have I have a torso at home, you know?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I wasn't lying when I said I had one.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Which came about because, I realized I was going to be on house arrest for a while and I was sick of jerking off. I was like, this is old. This is old hat to me now. You can only twist and shout so much. Fucking, this thing's $50. All right, cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, get your money's worth out of it.
And let me tell you, she's gotten some shots. Yeah, it's
she's like worn down like a pencil.
Yeah, she's kind of discolored at times now. No, it's I like how when Tim got that for you, he was like, "Good luck cleaning it," because that was an adventure trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's still work in progress, and
Yeah.
you know, I have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
So I've tried a few different ways.
My best method I've found, well, for anybody listening who also has a sex torso, old toothbrush.
Oh, wow,
and
that's great.
some like dish soap, just
Wow.
and run hot water through it. Just give her a good brushing, dude.
Dude, one of the things I was so conscious of, and thankfully both times that I've used it and cleaned it out have been when nobody was home.
Yeah.
But both times I feel like it made so much fucking noise, and it just sounded like there was fucking going on.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't even want to clean this now,
Right.
because if I do it while people are home,
they're gonna
like,
hear
all right,
it.
this fucking weirdo was just in there with that
that
pile.
pile of flesh. Fortunately I live alone, so
Oh, you're good then.
yeah. It's fortunate for things like that, but very unfortunate if anything terrible would happen to me, because it would be a week before anybody thought to even check on me.
Dude, you need to attach an IED to it.
Yeah.
Just in case you're being murdered, be like, wait, just hit the button.
Yeah, man. Shit. All right. I'm losing steam fast. I still got a long drive home, so
You fucking nailed it, man. And I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you, and you fucking been through a lot, man. I think you need to give yourself a lot more fucking credit.
Man, thank you.
And
thank you so much.
You just fucking keep going.
I'm gonna now.
And the word failures happen every fucking day.
Yeah.
But don't let a single instance define you. Just fucking keep going and keep doing whatever the fuck makes you happy. That's all that matters.
Damn, dude. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you, motherfucker.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate you. I appreciate fucking Miss Shirley just let me chill here and record all day.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's great. I was telling him I want to do something like this in my guest bedroom. So this is a good little like peek into what I can do with it.
Yeah. Would you ever consider moving down here?
Yeah, I've considered it a lot actually, but and I own my house, like it's mine, so I can rent it out, and I really fucking cheap mortgage. Like I got lucky on that, so I could rent that place out, and it would pretty much be like self-sustaining in that sense, like that place. And then yeah, I mean, I know plenty of people who live here, obviously, and who are always like, yeah, we got an extra room or whatever, or yeah, so it's always a possibility for sure. But what I've heard from a lot of people is that if you're gonna do that, just move to New York or move to LA or whatever, you know. But I will never live in LA again. Never ever. I'll go visit for sure. Like I'll go check it out.
Have you been back since?
Not to LA. My friend lives up in Mendocino now. So
how far is that
from LA?
Yeah.
It's 3.5 hours north of San Fran.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's up there in like the redwoods and all that stuff. But it's beautiful up there.
Yeah, I haven't been up there. I would like to though.
I totally recommend that area. Mendocino County, like Point Arena is where he is, and it's like a little touristy town, but it's right on the coast, and that's where when you shared that picture of you at the
Griffith.
Griffith Observatory. That's the word. Jesus Christ, I'm losing it. The picture I shared was from Point Arena Lighthouse.
Oh, okay.
And that was my 30th birthday. I went out to visit him.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was one of those things. I didn't have the money to do it. Mm-hmm. I called my mom, and I was just like, Mom, I really want to go see Johnny. I haven't seen him in 6 years. He's still my best friend, you know, since we were like 6 years old.
Yeah.
I can scrounge together the money if I really want to. But like, do you want to just call it a 30th birthday present? Like, just get me a round trip flight? And she's like, yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Right?
Yeah. And then I closed on that house the day before I flew out there. So
that's
like,
awesome, man.
Yeah. So like I closed on the house. I got on a plane the next day, flew out to fucking California, rented a car, got fucking butt fucked by the car rental place at SFO. I will never. Oh God, that was terrible.
What happened there?
So I had the rental scheduled and everything. I got in. It was a fairly late flight. It was like 9:00, I think, is when my flight got in. And I go down. No one's in like the rental area, like the car. None of the desks are manned or anything like that.
Oh, it sucks.
I walk up to the place that I scheduled it with, or reserved it with, and this dude's like I had the guaranteed price. Like they told me it will not. This is what you're gonna pay, and it's only when you return the car is when you pay. So he starts throwing all this shit out like a deposit and everything, and he's like racking up numbers, and it went from like $300 for like a week and a half to fucking $900 that I had to pay right then and there to get the car. I was like, whoa, this is not at all like, here's the fucking agreement that I have, the rental agreement. Like, that's not what this says at all. He's like, oh, it's in like the fine print. I'm like, well, you fucking find that fine print, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm not renting a car from you. Like, cancel it, we're done. And
you stabbed him, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, I fucking murdered that dude. No, he and then he's like, well, I could call someone for you. He like picks up the phone, makes a call, and he's like, basically, they like shook me down. It's like, so how much money do you have on you?
Ah, Christ.
I was like, I got $400. Yeah, and this dude like comes into the airport and picks me up like randomly, like just in a minivan. Like, I just jump in the back of a minivan with this random dude, and we like drive off the lot or whatever and go to this place that's called like airport car rental, like quote, and just it looked like a fucking front. Like, I think I was on a reality TV show. I'm not sure though. And he like gives me this shitty old like Toyota Camry that I just got in the car. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna light up a cig because I don't care about your no smoking rule. Fuck you after all this. Mm-hmm. Got in the car, drove fucking 3.5 miles up the Pacific Coast Highway, full moon, Pacific Ocean to the left. Like, it was a beautiful, beautiful drive.
Damn, that's sweet.
It's one of the most peaceful things I've ever. That weekend was that week was like one of the best weeks of my life.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Just waking up every morning, my friend gives me a cup of coffee, mm-hmm. a fucking blunt, mm-hmm. and plays a song on the guitar while we sit on their deck. That their house is like at the top of a mountain, mm-hmm. and then you look out and it's just the Pacific Ocean and like redwoods everywhere.
You've done a lot of cool shit, dude.
I like to think that I have. I do. I like to think that I've passed on a lot of big opportunities in my life, and those are the things that stick with me. Mm-hmm. And sitting down here and talking with you and like having you reaffirm the fact that, oh yeah, all of these cool things that happened to me in my life, mm-hmm. like, you know, you get bogged down in the day-to-day events of like, fuck my job, fuck like what's for dinner, blah, like all that shit, and you forget about like real life experiences that you had. So this has been good for me, man. Good. Yeah.
Fucking make more of them.
I'm gonna, dude.
Just do whatever the fuck you want and have fun.
Fuck yeah. That's the message we're gonna leave on, dude. That is it. So this has been Human Interaction. I'm your I'm your host. I'm your guest, Andrew Hambone Hamilton. That's my host, Mike Rainey.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
Dude, thank you so much. And listeners, I hope you come back next time.
In the morning when the frost was steaming and I was dreaming in my bed, a wind blew through the leaves and it spoke to me, and this is what it said. No one hear me, I'm hurting dearly, I'll soon be dead. I didn't wanna have to be a threat, but I got no options left, so watch your step. I said I got no options left, so watch your step. I thought we could be friends, but something twisted and that came to a bitter end. Oh, why can't you understand? I got nothing more to lend. I need some time to let the damage mend. Grains in the sand, I'll be the only one who lives to tell the tales of foolish men.